but I still object to the
everything.
The project. Yeah, I mean, I know you probably saw that it went viral that in a blog that I said it was a fucking bullshit move and a dick move. Yep. And everybody picked it up and with headlines that sounded like I was a raving maniac and like I was, taking to the streets with torches and stuff. The fact is that if you read the whole blog piece, I swear that much in every answer. So when you just take one answer out and you see a lot of swearing in it, it made me seem like I was like fucking unhinged with anger. I can handle it. But perhaps I overstate my case and I speak with more, I don't know. I speak a little bit more plainly than your average person, maybe. But I do think it's bullshit. Primarily because my primary objection to it is that the Don Mancini franchise is still functioning and it's still evolving. And this project could have derailed both the TV series and the ongoing nature of a 30-year-old healthy franchise.
Absolutely.
It has not so far. But that things can change. And this is a town where, projects get greenlit and then the plug. So it's not even any solace in thinking the movie will tank or I don't know what will be better for us if the movie does really well or if the movie does really poorly. There's no way to really calculate that. It could be that if it goes really well, that the people in the existing franchise could be intimidated or threatened, or financiers could be like, "Fuck it, they took the baton. We're taking our ball and going home." Or they could say, "Look how much life there is in this. There's enough of a fan base to support two competing projects." I don't know. I just know that I belong to the first project, and that's the one I'm loyal to.
The true one.
Damn right. Damn right. I love that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a 30-year franchise. It's stayed true to itself. The stories stayed the same. It's not as if it's been like, Chucky. Oh yeah, he actually summons demons and like it's stayed true to its true format, which is great.
With characters like Tiffany and Glenn and Glenda, these characters that are surreal. I guess they shouldn't be because Chucky's also animated inanimate thing. But when the franchise moved back into sort of more horror with the Curse and Cult installments, they did not pretend that the Tiffany characters that those storylines had never happened. They're still real, and that makes the storytelling for Dawn that much more complex to keep all of those characters realistically involved in storylines. And really unique for fans to watch a character like Andy Barclay go from being 6 to being 36.
Exactly.
And same actor playing him, and same with me. I know people were really eager to get Kyle back, and I was really eager to be back. So there's no other horror franchise, certainly, that has not been rebooted at midstream and changed course or ignored previous installments. So it's just disrespectful to Dawn. And the fact that the Chucky world is pretty close. I mean, Alex is like my real little brother. I didn't see him for a long time, but I started getting in touch with him about 7 years ago, and he feels like we're super close. He's like my real little brother. And Dawn, I stayed in touch with the entire time. He's a true friend. I know Jennifer Tilly outside of the project. I knew her before she did Bride of Chucky, so she's a friend. And Catherine Hicks and Kevin Yeager are married in real life. Kevin, designed Chucky and Freddy and the Cult and the Crypt Keeper, and Brad and Fiona are real life father and daughter, and Dawn is the parent of the entire thing. It's a very literally and figuratively a family affair, and so there's a lot of people feeling very. Most of us feel very protective of it, and certainly,
of course. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you're completely correct. It is like a family. They've been in all the projects, and I think it's really blasphemous, actually, what they're doing. It's really crazy.
It's uncool, And like I said, I don't know whether I guess I have to hope that it tanks, Because I don't know what I mean. Yeah.
Well, the fans that are obviously fans of the franchise, they are outraged. I mean, they're pissed off about it. I see posts about it daily, especially now that the new image dropped earlier today.
Yeah.
Just going smooth the hell off about the damn image.
You know, but when that thing that my quote went crazy, and I made the mistake of reading comments under a couple of the in some of the places it was posted. There's a number of people that are into it, and I got yelling at me for being, why can't they be both? What's the problem with there being both? And I guess the short answer to that is there is no real problem with there being two, as long as the second one doesn't kill the first one.
For sure.
You know, but there are people that are into it, and I saw that image actually on Instagram today, and turns out I don't know if it's the real guy. Can't be. I don't think it looks like I'm following the guy who's directing the new one. What's his name? Is he a Swedish guy or something?
Yeah, I think he was a producer for the new It, I believe.
Yeah. And so I don't know why I'm following him. I don't know how that happened. I don't know what his name is, but he only has like 500 followers too. So I'm like, this can't be the real guy, but I feel like it is. So I don't know why the fuck I'm following him, but I am, and that's where I saw
Interesting
doll for the first time, and the people on his page are all about it. They're really excited about it. They're not only one person talked shit to him, and nobody else did.
Well, that'll probably change pretty soon.
We'll wait and see.
We'll see. But yeah, if anyone's just joining, we're joined this evening by the incredibly talented actress, author, YouTuber, blogger. So many attributes.
Author, yeah. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Exactly, yeah.
I like that.
The incredible Christine Elise. Best known in the horror community as Kyle from Child's Play 2, and then also rebooted in the Cult of Chucky at the very last scene, which I thought was actually very effective because it worked very well for Alex and Curse, and then that set up the whole movie for Cult, and then it's bringing you back in the last scene of the credits. Who knows where it's going to go from there, but
it's a lot. Cult is my favorite one of the whole franchise, actually. Really? I'm a big fan of the multiple Chuckies, and I'm a big fan of Fiona's possession. I think that those open up so many more doors for story, so that I think one of the traps horror movies franchises fall into, is like it just becomes 8 new victims for the hero killer, whether it's Freddy or Jason or Mike Myers or whatever. It's generic people get killed off, and that's just not exciting. But this ultimately, runs its course. This leaves, I can't even imagine all the directions that Don can go with multiple Chuckies and his ability to possess people. So, not to mention how fun it is to watch Fiona do her dad. Watching Fiona do Chucky is really fun.
I know that was the one thing I'd picked up, because I hadn't seen Curse before I'd seen Cult, so I was like, I was going into it with a relatively open mind, and then I knew Fiona Dourif was in it. And I'm like, Dourif's a very particular name for the Chucky franchise, and then I was like, whoa, and then I was like, the more you look at her, the more you can see her dad in her, and then her being Chucky at the end of the movie, which was, it was unreal. It speaks volumes to her as an actress, to Dawn as a writer, to take this to the next level. Yeah. It was a very, very good one. I was very surprised, because the last one I'd watched was probably Seed.
Yeah.
Years and years and years and years ago. And that was out there for its time. It was very unique for its time, because it was dealing with the whole it was essentially about gender issues with the split between Glenn and Glenda, but it was a great installment in an ever growing franchise. It's again stayed true to the subject matter, which is amazing.
Yeah, I think Fiona, she's a great attribute to the franchise. I think she's amazing. I love the Curse. Me personally, I love Curse more than Cult, but I love how I love that she's his daughter, which is amazing. I love when they do that with franchises. I love when they introduce a family member that does an amazing job.
Yeah,
so she did great.
She's an awesome chick too. I love her. She's really smart and funny and great and super talented. I also like that Dawn put her in a wheelchair. That Nika's in a wheelchair, because one of the sort of reasons you have to suspend disbelief with the Chucky franchise, beyond the fact that a doll has been possessed by a man, is that other adults can't somehow overpower him or outrun him. Yeah. And that's like, why can't you just drop kick him and, over a fence and be done with it? And so for Nika, that's not a possibility. So her vulnerability is organic and believable. And then putting her in a nut house, it just ratchets that up to the next level of vulnerability, because now she's in a wheelchair and everyone thinks she's fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. So no one's going to listen to her, and she can't really do much to help herself. So it sort of it heightens the stakes immensely.
Yeah, and you would think that her being in a wheelchair, she'd be an easy victim for Chucky. Yeah. Ultimately, she's just a complete warrior. So that they flipped it on us with that. You would think she'd be one of the first ones killed off. No. That's
exactly. And Dawn's been really good about writing strong female characters for this franchise too.
Yes.
And I have to say I appreciate that.
And I know this isn't a mistake, but Dawn always leaving open-ended stories for characters is extremely effective, because he's never killed off Andy Barclay, he's never killed off Kyle, he's never killed Andy's mum. Mm-hmm. Like that's a smart move that many of the franchises that we know now haven't followed. That it's always different people, different timelines, and it kind of all gets sort of convoluted. This stays true to its source, which is extremely great for the franchise, because it's an enjoyable one too. Because I mean, Brad Dourif is excellent as Chucky. He's very much like Robert Englund. What Robert Englund is to Freddy Krueger, Brad Dourif is to Chucky. Because I mean, how can you outdo that?
You cannot. The only way I would do it is to marry them. I was on a panel with Dawn one time, and people always want Chucky versus Leprechaun,
Yeah.
But Dawn's like, no, I really think that the better match for him is Freddy, because they're both really smart and they're both really funny. Mm-hmm. Having him do anything with Mike, anybody with a mask on, they don't talk, so there's no room for banter, Yes. And it's all about, and so his idea, and he said this on a panel, so I'm not giving anything away. If he were to do it, he would have that Chucky somehow ends up on Elm Street, ends up in that, and meets Freddy, and they're mutually fans of each other. They're like, oh my God, love your work, I love your work. And they have a competition to see who can kill the most people in a single night.
Yeah. So my question for you is, why do you think people always try to put Leprechaun and Chucky? Is it because of the size difference, for the comedic value? Why do you think people always try to put them together?
Size for sure. Size matters, guys. Size matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems obvious they're sort of matched physically, but.
Yeah, and plus Warwick Davis definitely ain't doing no Leprechaun films anytime soon, so that wouldn't work at all.
Well, they redid Leprechaun, and they cast an entirely different guy for that.
Yeah, the past two, they've used different actors, which, as you can see from that example right there, them using different actors, it flunked, it drowned. So you would kind of expect the same thing to happen to this new Chucky movie. They're not using anyone from the original franchise. It might actually drown. They're being real risky with this.
Yeah, again, there's no way to safely predict. Nobody from the real franchise can do it. It would be an enormous betrayal of Dawn. So even if they had reached out to anybody, I don't think anyone would have said yes.
Sure, yeah, exactly. But yeah, that was great. I lost my train of thought. I was just like, there's so much going on. But yeah, back to the whole strong female character. What was it like when you first, even when you first auditioned for the role, like Kyle? Like what was the process like when you did that?
It's standard audition stuff, I was pretty new I was new, hadn't done a whole lot yet, and I was 24, but playing 16, 17. Mm-hmm. And it was an advantage. It's why I worked in the beginning. Why I did so sort of well really early was because I was older and played younger, but convincingly younger, and they can hire you as an adult and not have to worry about child labor laws, and you're also a sophisticated actor with more life experience to bring to shit, Mm-hmm. So it was a regular audition. I didn't get it the first round through. They saw a bunch of other girls and they hadn't found the right girl, so they brought girls back that they thought had been near misses. And I had just done an episode of 21 Jump Street, and I was, at the time, when I went back for the second audition, I was actively doing an episode of the original Baywatch, and I had to be on set, so I was in a hurry. So I kind of had, you know, this actors can be desperate when they're not working because they always feel like you're never going to work again. If you go in a room and people can smell your desperation, it's not attractive. So I went in there with this, like, I'm fucking working, bitches. I got a job. You know, get the show on the road. I got to go. I had somewhere to be. And I didn't say those words, but I think that sort of confidence of just I had a job translated for them. And that's what I think, though. I don't even remember who was in the room. I don't know if Don was in the room. I know John LaFia had to have been in the room, and probably Kirshner, but I don't really know who all was in that room making the actual decision. Because back then there was no videotape. If you got cast in something, you had to, the people who made decisions about it had to be in the room to watch you. Now they put you on tape and everybody on the fucking earth can watch and put their 2 cents in, which makes it a lot harder to get a job because so many more people that have a say that can ixnay you. So I don't know what John LaFia would say. I don't know what Don would say as why I got it, but that's my theory. And plus, I was genuinely, I mean, my stock in trade for a decade was to play the misunderstood tough chick with a heart of gold. I played that over and over and over again. I played even into adulthood, the same sort of thing. Is not too far off the mark from, I guess, who I really am. There's like 2 kinds of actors in the world, I think. One's like Meryl Streep, who lose themselves in roles, and you can't see them anymore. And actors like Jack Nicholson, who he's Jack Nicholson in different, he's just Jack Nicholson in different roles. Yeah. And I'm not comparing myself to Jack Nicholson and Meryl Streep, but if I had to pick which of the 2 breeds of actor I am, I'm the Jack Nicholson type. I'm the one that tries to put myself in the situation, and I don't really have the chops to become invisible. I think that you're seeing a lot of me in everything I do. For sure.
For sure. And my timeline may be a bit off, but it was after Child's Play 2. That's when you took Beverly Hills 90210. Is that right?
Like a year or 2 later, yeah.
Right. And the change from character of Kyle to Emily Valentine. What was? They seem like very similar characters to me.
They are, and I'm not. They are, and they. And I'm not. I'm not the kind of actor that gets jobs well in advance of when they start. So I'm the kind of girl that gets a job. When I got ER, I got the job at 6. I went in at 11 o'clock on a Monday morning. I went back for a call back at 6:30 that night, and I was on the set at 6:30 the next morning. So I didn't have time to go research what it would be like to be a medical student or whatever. I was on the fucking job the next day. And certainly there's no way to research being chased by a killer doll. And it's all just pretend, you know, for me. So there's no prep or anything, and I just really, like I said, I read the material and I try to imagine what I would feel like if I were in that situation, whatever that situation may be. It's all equally fake, you know. I would never give like Brandon drugs. I would never slip somebody drugs in a drink and burn a float or threaten to burn a float, and I would never be chased by a killer doll. So it's all fake, and love scenes are wildly fake. And really and that's the hardest thing to do of all. I think working with Chucky was in some ways easier because I knew what he was going to do. There's nothing spontaneous about the Chucky doll. It's very, you know, Brad's lines are recorded weeks in advance, and they play his record, so they can't change the dialogue because it's written in stone. And when they get that doll's mouth to, I mean, I guess they can add dialogue from Brad in the back of Chucky's head. If you're looking at his face, and there's no way to change dialogue. His mouth is moving to words that were written and recorded a while back. Right. So he's almost easier to work with. There's no ego. He has no ego. Yeah. And, he's never hung over, and he never changes it up.
Brilliant.
Nice. Oh, great answer. A lot of people's opinions are that Child's Play 2 is the best one in the franchise.
Yes.
Mine included. I'm a huge fan of Part 2, and I've always been. My question for you is, I've always been curious on what was it like with the ending scene when the head blew up. Mm-hmm. What was it like wrestling around that rubber silicone body of Chucky?
Really fucking cold in this fucking industrial warehouse thing where they had built that set. It was like winter, which is not as, it's Los Angeles, so it's LA winter, but it was, you know, like 50 degrees, and I'm not wearing, you know, and I'm kneeling on a concrete floor wrestling with a wet, cold, like slime covered puppet.
Mm-hmm.
There's some footage on YouTube of me doing that. You see me kneeling on the floor, with the puppeteers all kind of around and the doll waiting. And then you hear John say action, and the doll jumps in. I go, oh, and I pretend I'm afraid and start wrestling with it.
Right.
It's like 2 little clips on YouTube of behind the scenes stuff. I don't know if that was Don Mancini's footage or Kevin Yeager's footage, but you can see I'm sitting there, I stick my tongue out at whoever's shooting the film. I'm like waiting. I look at them, and I wait until I hear action, and then I jump and do it. But Alex Vincent has seen. Don Mancini has tons and tons, like a fuck ton of behind the scenes footage, and Alex Vincent's seen a lot of it. And he said the thing that makes him laugh is that whenever, in almost every single take, when they say cut, I crack up laughing because you feel like an asshole. It's just so it's embarrassing and ridiculous. Like, because it's this slimy covered puppet with a bunch of guys with arm pieces of torso doing this, and I obviously can overpower it. It's the guy's forearm. I can overpower it in a second. I have to pretend that I can't overpower it. So all of the wrestling is being done by me, and I'm grunting and groaning like it's an actual effort, and it's not. It's just stupid, and you feel like an asshole.
That's some great movie magic, because even watching it now, it looks like you're just in a steaming hot, because I guess all the steam that's coming from Chucky, it just looks like you're just sweating your ass off. It's like a hot.
Because it's fucking that was cold in that stage. So what you're seeing is like when you see somebody's breath in cold weather. It's
right. Yeah.
from the room being cold, not from the stuff being hot. Still, it was fun. One of the most fun things I ever did in my life.
Amazing. What an amazing experience. I can't imagine. I do have one thing to say. It's a little off topic. And this is something I wanted to ask for a long time. So, have you ever been mistaken as the singer Pink?
Because of my hair now, yes, actually, yeah. And I literally took a picture of Pink with me to the hair salon and said, give me a variation of this. So it's not a surprise. And it's enormously flattering because I could be her mom, and she's half my age, and she's fucking awesome and badass and gorgeous. So
yeah,
it's not a comparison that I loathe to hear.
As a kid, because whenever I guess Child's Play 2 came out a few years ago, that's when Pink blew up as a singer, and I remember growing up like, damn, I can't believe that singer's in this movie. That's crazy as a kid.
That's not true. Pink is not what the movie came out in 1990. Pink didn't blow up in 90. She was like 2000. 2000
and like I don't even know, but I remember growing up because I was born in '89. It dropped in '90, so.
Probably by the time you saw it.
Yeah. Growing up when I was able to hear music and see music videos.
So you think even that, like in Child's Play 2, I looked like Pink?
I think so. Me, in my own opinion, yes. I was like, okay, that's badass. So I always mistaken you for that as a kid. It was crazy.
Well, that's flattering. I really get it a lot now because of the current hair.
That makes sense.
I mean, I had sunglasses on at a park the other day, and some woman walked up to me. I was like, "Hi, Pink! Hi, Pink! Hi, Pink!" in my face. And it took me like 3 or 4 of those for me to realize she was even talking to me. And yeah, I'm not Pink.
But I wonder if Pink's ever been mistaken for you.
I doubt it. You know, it's like when I did 90210 and I had that hair. When it's styled up rather than down, it was sort of a Madonna haircut, and when it was platinum, I got compared to Madonna. And when I first started, I got compared to Melanie Griffith and to Mary Stuart Masterson because they had short blonde hair. It's not a lot of, especially back then, there weren't a lot of girls with short blonde hair working, so that I don't look like Melanie Griffith and I don't look like Mary Stuart Masterson, although I play kind of characters that she played. It's really sort of a lack of imagination that people compare me to those people, But yeah, the Pink thing, I really do have her haircut right now.
Yeah, looks good. Your haircut looks good, by the way.
Thank you. Thank
you. I knew he wanted to ask you that. He mentioned that the other day, and he's like, do you think she looks like Pink? And I'm like, yeah, I see it.
That's funny.
See it. It's the hair, for sure.
I love Pink. So
Pink is insanely talented. I had Pink's first album.
Yeah.
Fantastic album. I think it's called Misunderstood.
Yeah, she's always been great, but now these live shows she's doing with that ribbon dancing, that fucking it's so crazy dangerous. I don't know how. I feel like her mother. Like, how does her mother let her do that? So fucking dangerous. Hanging over a crowd 30 feet up over their heads with no protection, like no cables are protected from falling.
Yeah,
that's some bravery. That's some bravery.
Speak on the topic of music. Is what kind of music do you listen to? What kind of stuff do you gravitate towards?
Well, I come from punk rock, so punk rock is my base. I appear in 2 different hardcore documentaries, American Hardcore and All Ages. I'm in both of them. But the hardcore scene those were my friends, and all those guys in the Boston bands were my friends because they were my age. But I was more into the broader punk rock scene, not the hardcore punk rock scene back then. I listen to a little of everything, actually. I like pop. I like Pink. I like pop music, and I like my favorite artist of all time is my top 3 of all time are Tom Waits, Nick Cave, and Elvis Costello.
Wow, nice.
I like singer-songwriter, piano players. Apparently,
nice. Nothing wrong with that.
And it applies to women too. But I like Tori Amos, and I like Alanis Morissette. Like singer-songwriters, piano players seem to be what I'm drawn to. But I'm a big fan of blues, and a big fan of some jazz, not abstract jazz, but sort of more standard jazz.
12-bar blues.
Chet Baker, and
I'm a jazz fan myself. I like jazz also.
Art Pepper, but yeah. So I listen to everything now, and Spotify is great because if you listen to a lot of music, which I do, Spotify sort of memorizes like your taste, and then every week gives you a thing called Discover Weekly, and they give you a bunch of suggestions. Yes. And I've discovered some great stuff there. Some weeks I'm like, oh my God, you're fucking nailing this in the head. Like, and I don't know who any of these people are, and I love everything. And then the next week it's like, what the fuck? Have you ever met me? Why do you think I would like this unbelievable, horrible pap? So I don't know. Sometimes the algorithm gets entirely wrong, but they get it right enough that I always check out that weekly thing.
That's cool.
I find obscure shit that I wouldn't.
Oh yeah, for sure. I got Spotify. I had Spotify for years when I lived in Scotland, and then when I moved to Canada, Spotify wasn't here yet. I think I moved here like 7 years ago, and it wasn't here, and I just felt lost. Yeah. Like there was no free version, and I was like, how the fuck am I supposed to listen to music? What was supposed to do? Go buying it. Yeah, and that's what I ended up doing. I bought a ton of CDs, but then I had nowhere to listen to those CDs because I had a Mac, and the Mac didn't have a disc drive, and I'm like, you fucking kidding me? How am I supposed to listen to music?
Yeah.
So I was like YouTube playlists and stuff like that, and then finally Spotify came around, and I've been a Spotify premium guy for like over a decade now.
Yeah, I am too.
Oh yeah, I always preferred that to Apple Music.
That's what happened.
When that came out, I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. And then, was it Tidal? Is that the Jay-Z one?
I don't know.
I think
so. No interest in that.
I'm 53. Today, my friend is all into this Eminem Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, who the fuck is Machine Gun Kelly?
Oh my God, I can't believe you're talking about that. It's so funny.
I cannot believe how heavily tattooed he is for the age that he is. There's not a fucking bit of naked skin on that man's body. It's crazy for the age that he is. And then apparently he's claiming to have fucked a chick named Halsey. I'm like, who the fuck is Halsey? And he seemed pretty badass too, though. I kind of like Machine Gun Kelly's rap, his coming back at Eminem, and I liked what I saw of Halsey. So, but I feel like a wicked old lady.
Yeah.
All up and not knowing who they are.
You got to go through all the little, Halsey, I got to look her up. And then you got to start looking up all these things. Yeah, you get drawn into that shit fast.
That chick's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Talented too. She got a good voice on her.
Yeah, she does.
So, my question right now is, did you keep any memorabilia for any of the franchise?
Nope. It's a common misconception. People think you can just walk off sets with things that you cannot. They belong to either the property department, which could be an individual who has his own prop truck with his own possessions in it, or it belongs to the production company. One, they pay for that shit. They don't just give it away. Also, even if they were inclined to maybe let you go with things, they don't, because there is always this looming, like, well, we have to do reshoots. We're going to need that thing. And then, even if they could give it to you, they won't, because they'll just say, well, we don't know, we're probably going to need it for reshoots, and then you might lose it. So
true, yeah, that makes sense.
Sometimes you get to steal. They let you take some clothes. Sometimes, more often than not, I'm wearing clothing that's my own in projects. That black leather hat that I wear in Child's Play 2 is actually my hat. I owned that hat before I ever became an actor. And it's literally the same hat that I'm wearing in Cult. When Don found out that I still had the hat, he's like, "Oh my God, you gotta fucking wear it." So
I was gonna ask about that. That's
like that on 90210, and I wore that hat on Jump Street, and I've worn it on a dozen auditions, and hat used to get me work. And I still have that hat, but I had that hat. So the greatest piece of memorabilia I have for my entire career is the hat that I owned before I became.
Yeah,
it's an iconic look. Yeah, you carried that look very well throughout the years. That's awesome.
Yeah, because I think with the end scene, because it's very dark, like when Kyle comes in at the end of Cult, when Kyle comes in, it's still pretty dark and you come out from the shadows. So I think if it would have been without the hat, the iconic hat, it would have taken a couple of seconds, and then by that point it would have been over. So I think that was a fantastic addition to even just the scene. It's the small details, again, with Child's Play and the whole franchise that are just incredible when you start to analyze it. So
well, that's cool. Hopefully they have to make more appearances. Hopefully the TV show will happen. I get to put that hat on.
For sure. Oh yeah, everyone's going to watch out, because I mean, I think Kyle struck a chord with both male and female. For a lot of people, it was their first crush, and for females, it was a strong character where she doesn't take any shit. Like I actually watched Child's Play 2 last night. And just to familiarize myself, I'd not watched it for a while, and I forgot there's so many little one-liners. My favorite's when the cop pulls Kyle over. And it's like, you heard of the doll that pees? Yeah, this one bleeds.
Yes, I have to write that on many photographs.
Everybody. Oh, I bet. Is that the main one? When people meet you at convention, is that the main thing that they get you to sign? Is there any other quotes or just that one?
So I even had a picture of me in the car with Chucky with that pre-printed on the photo, so because I had to write it out so often.
That's hilarious.
Quote. But I think that as far as the Kyle appealing to both genders, I think that that's primarily because the majority of people that I speak to that when they saw Child's Play 2, they were very young themselves. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of people's first horror movie they ever saw, and is overwhelmingly people's favorite of the franchise. And I think it's because it's two kids. It's a teenage girl and a little boy that are paired up. She's like the awesome big brother, big sister, the rescue savior, but she's a kid too. So I think that's really empowering for kids to watch, is to watch two kids handle shit without any adults. And so she becomes like this, like little girls like the idea of fantasy big brother to come rescue them from bad guys, and that's sort of who Kyle is. Mm-hmm. So it's not even about. I got a lot of first questions and stuff too, but I think it's not so much that it's not so much a sexy thing. It's more just like
agreed.
A savior thing. Like everybody wants a guardian angel, which is what she sort of is to Andy.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why she appealed to both genders. It's that everybody wants that. Everybody wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Really cool, the badass to come take care.
Yeah.
And is that a Soska Sisters shot that you're wearing?
It is. It is.
That's amazing.
I worked with them. They had a game show called Hellevator.
That's right. Yes.
I worked in post-production on that.
That's awesome. Great show as well. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a great show. It was fun to do. And they are awesome. They're the nicest ladies ever. I'm a huge fan of theirs.
Yeah, those are, if I had to pick anybody in the world from horror that I could meet, those two are definitely two of the people that I'd love to meet, just because they're just so genuine, and they live by the same motto as Lloyd Kaufman. No, not Lloyd Kaufman. Trauma. Lloyd.
I don't know.
Shit, I forget his name. People are going to let me know in the comments, but like the same, like, make your own damn movie, like that sort of ethos, and that's really inspiring. Even if you're not a filmmaker, it's just inspiring to watch.
Yeah, do your own shit. Yeah, make shit happen.
Chicks, it's awesome that they're chicks, and I think when you meet them, you will not be disappointed. They're incredibly warm and loud and bubbly and fantastic. They're the opposite. They're not like brooding, goth chicks. They're like really happy, animal loving.
Yeah,
yes.
They're really great, and they're Canadian, so I guess that's part of it.
Yeah, they are, and they're remaking Rabbit, so I'm actually quite excited to check it out.
Yeah, I've done that now.
Cronenberg's a master, so.
Yeah.
So initially, okay, so if you can remember the day when you found out the news about the new Chucky movie being made, can you give me like a play-by-play of how you found out?
I cannot, because it's not that important to me. I don't know how I found out. I really don't. I mean, I really don't. Dawn could have told me. Alex could have told me. I'm not sure if I read it somewhere or some fan came to me and said, "What do you think?"
Yeah.
It's probably more likely that a fan wrote me on Facebook or on Instagram and said, "What do you think of this?"
Makes sense.
It's really not some like crisis in my life, despite the fact that one quote was requoted so often with really ridiculously dramatic headlines.
Yeah, you went
viral every night, like the voodoo doll trying to, jinx that film. I don't think my position on it is surprising. I can't imagine anybody in the new Chucky world thinks that anyone from the old Chucky world is like, yeah, go succeed.
Right. Do your thing, girl. Yeah.
Yeah, so, you went viral.
Fast. I did, and Don Mancini was so pleased. He bought me a really nice dinner. That's fantastic.
All the websites. You were on all the websites. Some that don't even pertain to horror movies. I was like, holy shit, she's fucking everywhere.
I know it, but they depicted me like I was crazy, which I'm not.
Yeah, they depicted like you were in the nut house.
Yeah.
Saying that Chucky's real.
Yeah, like I want to shoot myself in the face or somebody else in the face or something. It's like, Christine Elise is unhinged. Christine Elise is crazy mad. She's raging against it. I was not. I was talking to whatever. I said it already, but I swear a lot and I speak frankly.
Oh yeah.
Taken out of context, look like a fucking crazy pants, but whatever.
Oh, agreed. And the first thing when I first spoke to you and you said that you would do the show, I said directly to Al, I was like, Christine Elise is our type of person. She does not give a fuck.
Yeah.
We're very much the same. We don't really give a fuck about anything. We swear all the time. I swear way too often. I swear in work. I swear in front of people that don't like swearing.
So do I. Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them.
They're not paying my rent. I'm gonna tell them now.
Yeah.
I'm respectful in certain places. If I was in an old age home or something, I wouldn't walk around, or in church, I wouldn't,
yeah, that makes sense.
If I found myself in a church, I wouldn't be like an asshole.
Yeah.
But short of that, I don't really feel like I have the need to. And I'll tell you what, like it separates the men from the boys too, because it's not for a lack of a better vocabulary that I choose the words that I do. I have quite a fine vocabulary. Some words are more powerful than others, and they're more fun to use, and they roll off the tongue with more pleasure. So I've done, when I worked for Aaron Spelling, when I worked for Carol O'Connor, I played his daughter in the Heat of the Night, and they're both older guys from old school Hollywood. They're both from the studio system, which is why I became an actor. That studio system, like old Hollywood's my thing. And they're the two guys that are like classy gentlemen, But when I met, I swore I would be myself with them. And in both cases, it worked very much to my benefit. They both understood I wasn't being disrespectful because I wasn't ignorant. And I think that they got that it was also not from a lack of bigger words to use. It was just sort of, I speak colorfully. And they understood that. And so you don't get it. Oh, well.
Fuck you.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's very honorable to be. I like that you're yourself and you're not trying to portray as someone else. Sometimes we get flack, me and this guy right here, because we do cuss a lot and we are ourselves. And a lot of people like to be more PG. So I feel like it's very honorable to be yourself. Because a lot of folks aren't like that these days.
Well, a lot of folks don't naturally want to swear a lot. And some people can't swear. Some people don't swear well. Some people that don't swear a lot. And when they do, it's like, wow, you really hear it. Like, it's like, wow, that person must be really mad. Or
Venom.
Yeah, or it just doesn't come out as it sounds ugly, you know. Some people can't say like, you know, certain words that doesn't sound right because it's not natural. It's not part of their natural vernacular. But yeah. Anyway, it's all I can do is be myself. I don't see a reason not to be. As an actor, it's the only thing that I have that's different from everybody else, and I can't please everyone all the time. So the person that I spend my time trying to please most is myself. So I walk around and don't feel embarrassed. And if I fail, I failed on my own terms, not by trying to be something I'm not and then also failing, which is the worst possible scenario. So, you know, it's not like it's a big kudos to me. It's just, it's who I've always been. As a 14-year-old punk rocker, it's who I was. So.
You need to trademark that shit. That was a damn good quote. I'm gonna line this and I'm a word by word put quotations with a picture of you. That was really
good. They're gonna go viral again. Okay.
I do.
Speaking of a extensive vocabulary, a published author, which, funnily enough, I was doing some research last night, looking at panels and stuff like that on YouTube, and I came across a video of you doing a reading of Bathing in the Single Girl, and I was like, damn, that sounds like a fucking great book. So I bought it on Amazon last night.
Good for you, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna be scandalized by it too. It's a dirty comedy. It's not erotica. It's the piece you heard. It's not erotica. There's a lot of sex in it, but all the sex in it is horrible, regrettable, just horrible, embarrassing, desperately terrible sex with terrible people. I wrote the book just trying to write the funniest book I could write. I didn't try to write the great American novel. I didn't try to cure cancer with anything. I just tried to write a fucking funny book, and I'm really glad that you bought it. I made the cover orange. I had that cover designed, and I had a bunch of different colors I could do it in, and I picked orange because it was the most gender-neutral color I could use, so that men would feel awkward on a train holding my book, because it's still it looks like a chick lit. It looks like chick lit in the cover, and the title sounds like chick lit, but it's not. And I think boys like it too. They really do. And it's and that bookstore that I read that reading took place in is a bookstore here in Pasadena called Vroman's, like a 3-story, old school, classy bookstore. And I think in the intro you heard me say, I can't really clean up this. And it's an awkward geography that the children's book department is right there, and I have a mic. And I said fucking cunt. I said cunt into that. At the venerable Romans, 50 feet from the Dr. Seuss books. But you know what? Careful when you invite me. They read the book. They should have known. What am I going to do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're going to get Christine Elise to read our book. Never read it, so this is going to be fun.
Yeah, she was on there too. No, I'm sure it's fine.
Yep. So please welcome Emily Valentine. Yep. Fucking cunt. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Covering their ears and screaming. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, that and just hearing that, and it was the introduction. You just said multiple times, like I can't clean this up. The kids section's right there. Yeah. I'm gonna do it now. Yep. Once again, the kids section's right here. I'm gonna do it.
It's a comedy book. I can't take comedy is about pacing and cadence and timing, and I use the F word instead of saying it's not funny. You know, it's not funny. If Chris Rock said F word and N word and all, and didn't say the actual words, it wouldn't be funny. Chris Rock wouldn't be funny.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, but watching that. I think it was about 20 minutes. The whole video, and I was like, now I really want to read that and see. I want to hear how this story goes. So I'm awaiting my Amazon delivery, and when I get it and I read it, I will absolutely let you know how it goes.
Please do. I think you'll enjoy it. I feel confident you'll enjoy it. I feel confident that you will literally have to put it down at least twice to stop laughing. I think more than that, but I'm going to be conservative and say twice.
Twice, okay. I'll count and I'll tell you how many times I'll laugh. And it's probably.
I mean, really laugh. No, not like ha ha ha.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Like,
I mean, fucking laugh.
Yeah. I'm excited to read it.
I'm glad you bought it.
So yeah, I bought it on Amazon last night. So if anyone wants the link to Bathing in the Single Girl, I will send you the link. It's Amazon Canada, so I mean, probably half these people probably won't get it. So.
If anybody is curious and doesn't want to spend $10 or even like $2 it costs for the Kindle version, of it. It's on iTunes and stuff too. There's a 10-minute, if you go to bathingbook.com, there's a 10-minute short film that I made before I wrote the book that had nothing to do with the book initially because the book didn't exist, but it works really well as a trailer for the book. And so it's a short film, short comedy that I shot in my house for myself. I wrote it, directed it. I'm the only person in it, and it works really well as a trailer. So if you like the short film, you like the book. The book is raunchier though, and I think far funnier. But like I said, it works really well as a trailer.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. We usually have another co-host. His name's David. He's working night shift, but he asked this question to every guest we ever have on. When you're watching a horror movie in your home, what snacks do you usually go to watch your film?
Red wine.
Huh?
Red wine.
Red wine.
Wine.
Fuck yeah.
Red wine. That's the answer.
Yeah, I'm not a snacker. I eat a lot. I like cook a lot, and I like to eat a lot. But I'm not like a popcorn or candy person. If I was drinking red wine and felt snacky, I suppose ideally I would eat edamame.
Unique answer. Yeah, every guest gives a different answer. Like Dan Yeager, he played Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. He said Reese's Pieces and some bourbon. So, yeah, that's okay. Red wine. I'm about to try that. Let me see what that's like.
I'm all about red wine. I'm about wine in general, but yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Great. Yeah. We always get very interesting answers. Not everyone's like, popcorn and like a big soda. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm gonna have a big tall beer. Or I'm gonna have like shots of whiskey or vodka or something. It's great to hear because everyone has their own go-to for stuff like that.
Red wine's gonna be my answer to pretty much any question that involves food.
What was it like playing Kyle and Chelsea too? Red wine.
Red wine, not red rum.
Red rum. Red rum, red wine. Cool. After a few glasses, it'll all taste the same.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I'm gonna. We got a few questions. The chat's been going crazy. Everyone's been nothing but nice. A lot of people are saying that you don't look a day over 30.
Over 53. Well, thank you for that. I do. I fucking do. But thank you.
Let's get a question here. So, Corey asks, can you ask about your thoughts on the CGI ruining Chucky?
There's no CGI in Chucky.
I think what they mean is by the new one because it's probably going to. Apparently, it's supposed to be a lot of CG rather than practical effects. That's another thing I did pick on throughout the whole entire franchise. It's all practical, which is
Cult's all practical. So
yeah.
So there. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the CGI stuff. I mean, the fact is, it make him probably move more smoothly because there's the practical effects. Chucky's his gait's kind of not smooth, Yeah. I like that. I think that's retro and how it's always been. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything nice about the new film. I can't. I'm not going to predict anything nice. And I guess I should see it when it comes out. I guess I have to see it just to inform myself because I'm going to be asked about it every fucking day of my life.
Every fucking day. I imagine it's every single fucking day for you. I bet.
Yeah, I got asked every single day for a year if I was going to be in Cult, and I had to say no. So I guess I should see it just so I have some sort of an educated answer. But
yeah, exactly.
I guess, my answer to that is I am glad they're going to do CGI because it makes it different from ours. So the more different from ours they are, the better for us.
For sure.
No Brad, no Charles Lee Ray possession. It's an artificial intelligence doll, as I understand.
Yeah.
A Chinese worker that then commits suicide or something. And so the more different it is, the better. So I'm glad they're doing CGI. If they, in fact, are, I'm glad they are.
They're calling it technologically advanced, which is fucking ridiculous.
You know what? There's someone for everything, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Some people probably love Jar Jar Binks out there. So there's going to be fans of all things. And there's a bunch of people, kids that haven't invested in the 30 years of the Chucky franchise, and we'll see this one having never seen a Chucky film. So, yeah.
I have a daughter. She's 5 years old. I bought her the Chucky doll in Spencer's. He's all scarred up and stitched up. She takes it with her everywhere.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, my children love horror movies. They've been watching this since they were babies. So
I do horror conventions a lot, and I get a lot of second-generation horror fans walking around like 3 years old with Chucky at my table. So,
have you ever had anyone come up and say, "Hey, this is my daughter Kyle"?
Yes.
Has that ever happened?
Yes. And I met a boy who was named Kyle. His mother named him Kyle after Kyle.
Wow.
And at not the last show I did, but the show before in Arizona, I went to Mad Monster, and I'm forgetting his name right now, and I feel terrible. But he came dressed as Kyle.
That's awesome.
Cosplay Kyle with the black hat and the outfit she's wearing when you meet her smoking the cigarette, the black hat, that black turtleneck thing, and the mom jeans. He had that big super chain necklace she had on. Yeah, all of it. It was genius. I posted it on Instagram. So, yeah.
Brilliant. I'll need to check that out.
It was really cool.
Look that shit up too in a minute. That's pretty badass. Yeah, you have a huge fan base. You have a massive fan base.
No, I don't. I wish I did. It needs to be bigger. It needs to be bigger.
But I mean, it's the good thing about it is not just like, it's not just all horror. It's an eclectic mix of people from the horror genre, and then there's people who love Beverly Hills 90210, and they just like come together. Has there ever been
dog people? And I've got 3 dogs, and I foster all the time. I've got a foster right here at my feet. Say from Uruguay. He only has half a face. Lucho, yeah, he's only got half a face. So he's a black dog that I'm talking about, this long-haired, shiny black dog. He got mauled in Uruguay by a pack of dogs, and they took off the top of his muzzle. So if his nose was like that, and he'd eat like this, this whole part is gone. So now he has this gigantic scoop underbite, and his nose ends right at his face like that.
Yeah.
He's right at my feet right now. He's super sweet. So I get dog people, I get vegans because of my show, my channel, I mean, and I get, all kinds of entertainment things, and I do photography in my book, and so.
Holy shit, you're jack of all trades.
Yeah, and I try to stay away from the politics on Instagram. I'm relentless with the politics on Facebook, but I try to share the Instagram crew most of the time.
Oh, yeah. We got a question from Andrew Fay. He's asked, what horror movies do you like outside of Child's Play? Is there any franchises or any movies that you've liked?
I've never seen anything beyond the first one of any of the other big franchises, and I like them all. So Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, and what's the other one I'm forgetting right now?
Halloween, thank you.
Yeah. So those 3, I've only seen the first one, and I really should grow up and watch the other ones too.
We actually had Brad Laurie on a few weeks ago, and he was Michael Myers in Halloween Resurrection, which is predominantly considered the worst Halloween movie in history. And he's such a great guy. He's Canadian as well, just a big personality. He comes from stunts and like. He's just a great guy. So I mean, like a lot of these franchises, a lot of them later, although they don't stick true to the story, they typically get a lot of really cool people coming out of it, which is really awesome. Like Paul Rudd's first movie was Halloween 6.
Like Jennifer Aniston was in the first Leprechauns and shit, wasn't she?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Johnny Depp, obviously, first Nightmare on Elm Street, and he got the part because Wes Craven's daughter thought he was cute.
He is cute.
Yeah,
Kevin Bacon, he was in the first Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
And Robert Englund wants him to play Freddy Krueger in a future film. So that's an interesting turnaround.
That's odd. My favorite horror film of all time is going to have to be The Exorcist. I just think it's so intense and could not be made. That script would not be shot today.
No.
70s was super ballsy, and we no longer have the balls of that era. So and just imagine how intense that was then. It's such a brave movie and such a brave thing for those actors to have done. So that is my all-time favorite. And then I like Let the Right One In. I even like the American version of Let the Right One In. I like I like the Strangers. I think with Liv Tyler.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Ones that in You're Next.
Oh, Your Next was great. I watched that recently, actually. Loved it.
Yeah, I like those ones that are more not jump scares and like
More real.
Yeah, more real.
Real situations, like real. Yeah. Like The Strangers is such an intense film. Watching it in the dark, it's like just in that atmosphere. It feels real.
You know what the fuck's going on? What's happening? What is even happening? Is terrifying. My most visceral experience watching a horror film of all time, though, was Blair Witch, and I'll tell you why. I watched the year that Blair Witch came out. There was another film that came out at Sundance called American Movie, which if you haven't seen American Movie, you should. American Movie is a brilliant documentary. But I didn't get the titles of the films right. I just knew that there was a film at Sundance that everyone thought was fake and it was real, and a film that everyone thought was real, but it was fake.
Right.
And I didn't get straight which one was which. And like fast forward to 5 years later, I get some 8th generation VHS cassette. It's really, really bad quality. And it's Blair Witch. And I'm like, oh, this is the one everyone thought was fake, but it was real. And I watched the whole thing thinking everyone thought it was fake, but it's fucking real. And I imagine believing the whole time that was actually real. I could barely get my fucking ass off the sofa in the dark when it ended. There's a scene that I now know, like they open up a bundle and there's like a finger in the package. Yeah. But the VHS was so scrambled, I couldn't see what it was in that pack. I could just see that there was something and they were all freaking out. I don't fucking even know what it is. What the fuck is it? It was so fucking terrifying that it wasn't until I saw like location manager, in the credits that I realized that it was
yeah.
So, but I watched that whole thing thinking it was real, and I lost my shit. It was great.
Yeah, it came out in '99, and it had people researching, trying to like help find the missing people. And when you watch it on VHS, you had the remote trying to like zoom in and pause at that point to see what the hell's in that fucking bag. Yeah, I remember doing all that too. That was crazy.
It was great. It was a really great way to experience a movie, having the total misinformation that it was true.
Oh, for sure. And a lot of people, they credit the Blair Witch for the invention or the, maybe not the invention, but the superstardom of the found footage. Because then after that, there's a bunch of shit just came out of found footage. And the Blair Witch made hundreds of millions of dollars.
I think it would cost like 40 grand or some shit. Yeah.
Same with Paranormal Activity. That's why Blumhouse does so well. Because what they would do is they would take a small concept, use a relatively low budget, and then essentially flip it into multi-million-dollar franchises. Because that's what they did with Paranormal Activity, Insidious, like all the sort of new age horror movies that came out in the last 10 years or so, maybe even more than that. They got flipped for millions of dollars, and like Paranormal Activity is worth $600 million. Yeah. And they shot it, and apparently the rumor is they shot it in the guy's house. Used his own house for all that shit.
Yeah, Blumhouse is one of the only companies in town that consistently makes money. They got it right.
Yeah.
Fiona's in The Purge. Fiona Dorff is in The Purge. And
TV show, yeah.
Yeah, and that's their show. So
brilliant. They're doing a lot of good stuff. They obviously got the new Halloween. Have you seen much about the trailers for the new Halloween movie?
No, I should. Can I watch the new one without watching all the intervening ones?
Actually,
yeah. Well, the great thing about the new one is apparently it's following directly after the first one. So rather than Halloween 2, where Michael Myers disappears and then spawns 15 million fucking movies,
right.
This one is as if Michael Myers was captured and then put in an insane asylum for 40 years.
Oh.
So but apparently it nods to the other movies, like there's small little references that apparently they're gonna have. But from the trailers, it looks very looks like it's gonna be very, very fucking good. Eagerly anticipated.
Amy Curtis is involved, so I'm sure she wouldn't have signed on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Nick Castle was in the first one. About 10 people played Michael Myers in the first one, but Nick Castle is the one who a lot of people remember.
Yeah.
He's in the new one. We actually have an interview coming up with the new guy who's playing Michael Myers. His name's James Jude Courtney. We're going to be talking to him in a couple of weeks as well, so we're really excited about that. But from all the stuff that's come out about Halloween, it looks like it's going to be a really fucking good movie.
Yeah, and all you have to do is watch the very first one a couple times, get a refresher, and then go see the new one in theaters. And it's literally just going to be a storyline. So, yeah, which is great.
All right, it's an hour, guys. Let's get some questions and then wrap it up because I got to feed my dogs.
Okay.
That's the more important thing here. I don't have any further questions. I don't have any other questions in the chat. But yeah, I've left your Instagram and your YouTube channel in the description, so everyone can definitely go and check that out. Is there anywhere else where people can find you? Is there any upcoming conventions that you're going to be at in the future?
Yeah, I'm doing one in the UK in Manchester in the weekend of the 20th, 21st, I think, of October.
Nice.
And then the following weekend, I'm doing one in Orlando called Spooky Empire. So
oh, right, yeah, I've heard of that.
Horror. I think the one in Manchester is called For the Love of Horror, and then the Spooky Empire in Florida. Alex will be at both of them with me.
Brilliant.
And he has a fucking legit Chucky doll. He's got a screen used Cult of Chucky. So.
Ooh. Yes, we were at TFW last year. We were just there in May. We saw the Kevin Yeager one, and we saw the one that Alex had. So it was really cool. Yeah, we went to TFW.
In Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Texas.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah. It was cool because everyone was there. I actually brought my Cult of Chucky Blu-ray to get signed, and then I didn't end up meeting anyone. I was just like, motherfucker.
How'd that happen?
And you know, the funny thing is, I found out recently that you were at Frightmare in the Falls in Canada last year, and I was there as well.
You're just avoiding me. What's the problem?
Apparently so.
Is there any chance you're going to be at the next one next year? You think?
Texas Frightmare?
Yeah.
Which one? Niagara?
Texas Frightmare in Dallas, 2019.
No, I would do it every single year. It's one of the best shows ever. I would do it every single year, but they won't let you do it 2 years in a row.
Is that right?
Yeah, they have to invite you. All these cons have to invite you. The actors don't get to pick the ones they go to. Like Norman Reedus can pick where he goes, but most actors cannot. I mean, there's headliners like Robert Englund and Kane Hodder and that can pick shows, but the bulk of the rest of us, the show has to invite us, and they try to make it so they have a couple of people from the same franchise, like me and Alex, and like Texas Frightmare was crazy. There's a bunch of us. It's a really good one. Or they try to stagger you a couple of years between doing shows.
Cool.
I do think that I'll be at the Canada one again, though. I feel like they reached out to me and said, "Do you want to come back?" And I kind of wanted to go in the summer because the one I went to was in like February, and it was freezing fucking cold, and so seeing the falls was unbelievably painful because it was so cold out there. There's water whipping around on the Canadian side. I feel like I'm going back to that one though, but I'm not positive. So
brilliant. Well, if you're there, I'm going to be going this year. I think it's in the end of October, beginning of November. So if you do go, then I'll definitely come and say hi.
I won't be there this year. I know.
Oh, okay.
Teams. October, I'm in London, Manchester, and Florida.
Right, I see.
That's all I have for 18. But I think I'm supposed to go back to Toronto, the Frightmare at the Falls in the spring of 19. But I don't know for sure.
Nice. Well,
hell yeah.
Well, I'll probably be there.
All right. Well, fucking don't avoid me next time. It's not hard to find me. I'm stuck at a table for like 12 hours a day.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, but that Texas Frightmare was the first year I went. There was a lot to take in.
Yes, it was. It's a big show.
It was bigger than what I thought it would be. Because my thought was, I'm going to get Brad Dourif to sign my Cult of Chucky Blu-ray. I'm going to get Fiona to sign it. We did speak to Alex quite a lot. We always bumped into Alex outside.
Because I sit next to Alex at every show.
Yes, yeah. We walked around. I think, honestly, I think every time we walked around, you weren't there. Same with Alex. And anytime we went outside, that's where we met Alex.
Yeah, because he smokes. Yeah. I don't leave my table very often. I only leave to pee. So.
You must have been peeing whenever we get there.
I was peeing all the time. I don't know.
I don't know if I go to a con, I'm going straight to your table. That'd be
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll bring my book. Once it comes, I'll bring that and I'll get you to sign that.
All right.
You've been.
See if I can get Lucho up here to say hi. Lucho, come here. You can get a look at his mug. Come here, honey.
So excited.
There he is.
Oh.
Look at him.
Look at his little face.
Oh.
Isn't that intense, though?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Predator, but like he's super cute.
It's a good thing that he's alive and he has a good home that he's in. That's most important.
I'm only fostering him. He's gonna find a home. Hi, baby. He came back now. He's a super happy guy. I just woke him up from a nap. But anyway, he's a happy guy. And now it's his dinner time.
Well, you were a fantastic guest on the show. We really appreciate you coming on and talking to us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're most welcome. It was definitely our pleasure. And next time again, I'll try and not to avoid you ever again.
And when you read the book, let me know. Count your laughs. Let me know how it goes.
Absolutely. I'll definitely let you know. I should get it probably the next couple of days. Gotta love Amazon Prime, so I'm excited to check it out, and I'll definitely let you know how it goes. But yeah, everyone, thanks for joining us this evening. Again, Christine, you were fantastic.
Yes.
Check out her YouTube channel as well, where it's a vegan cooking show. It's not rated PG. I've seen a few episodes myself. I think the last one I watched was the gnocchi. I watched that one and you're like, I forgot the fucking olive oil. I was like, I'm going to like this.
All right.
So, but yeah, everyone have a good rest of your evening.
Bye.
Guys. Bye-bye.